Welcome back to the Wake Man channel. Alright, so as you can see, I am wearing one of my new Wake Man hats, and it is the style of hat that I like to wear, and it turned out pretty nice. I'm pretty picky with hats and how they fit my head, and this one turned out to fit my head really, really well. So very happy with how this one turned out. I'm also wearing one of my Wake Man t-shirts. I actually thought this was a pretty cool idea, kind of the aqua blue on aqua blue scenario. This is actually a Gildan t-shirt. So not only do I have a premium fitted t-shirt out there on the website, but I also have a just a run-of-the-mill Gildan t-shirt, so a better price on this t-shirt. I really love the fit and feel of the premium fitted t-shirt, but I like to wear both the premium fitted and the regular style t-shirts, so I figured I'd check this one out. If you have any interest in supporting the channel, you can go to wakeman.com and check out all my merch available. Also, either watch this video to the end or skip to the end to check out some extra deals and or discount codes. Okay, so today is going to be the 18th episode to the Wakeboat ownership series. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about all the different costs of ownership videos I've done and try to basically explain how I think those numbers can help you. And what I'll do here as I go through them is I will put a link to the video right above me. So if you're interested in that particular video, you can go straight to that video and check it out. And just a disclosure to start out with, obviously I designed all these videos so that you could put your own numbers in there and calculate your own costs, because obviously if you pay more cash or pay all cash, it's going to affect things greatly. And proximity to lake, things like that are going to affect your cost. So I'll go ahead and start out with the annual cost of ownership for a wake boat. In that video, and along with several other videos, I've been using the example of a $100,000 wake boat where you're putting 10% down, so $10,000 down, and you have a 20-year loan, and it ends up being around $600 a month for your monthly payment. So in that annual cost of ownership video, I came up with the following numbers. So first I did the annual cost of ownership for 100 hours of use for a season, and for that I came up with $11,735 or $977 monthly. And then I came up with another figure, which is for 50 hours of use over one season, and that number ended up being $10,415 or $868 a month. So for the annual cost of ownership video, I think that it can help you in a couple of different ways. I'm sure there are other ways that it could help you as well. And if you're watching this video right now and you can think of something beyond what I discuss, go ahead and leave it in the comments below for other people. But the two main things that I came up with for how these numbers can help you is, one, if you are thinking about running a business with a wake boat, whether it's teaching lessons, renting out your boat, renting out time on your boat, whatever it may be, and you just want to try to get an understanding of how much your wake boat is going to cost you on a monthly basis so that you can determine how much you need to make that a profitable business. Number two would just be to help you figure out whether or not you can afford the monthly costs of a wake boat. The obvious costs are going to be what you're paying on the boat monthly, but maybe you want to take into consideration the fuel costs, the insurance costs, all those other factors. Knowing your annual cost of ownership could really help you figure out whether or not you're going to be able to afford to actually use the boat, not just own the boat. So now let's move on to hourly costs. So the next video I did was the hourly cost of a wake boat. So on the hourly cost video, I did two different scenarios, one with 100 hours of use per season and another with 200 hours of use per season, so that I could show you that the more you use your boat, the more you lower your hourly cost. So the first one is for 100 hours of use, and for 100 hours of use I came up with a figure of $117.35. And don't mind me looking to my right because I'm just looking at my notes on this. Next I did for 200 hours of use, and for 200 hours of use I came up with $67.85 for an hourly cost. So the two main things that I came up with here for how you can use the hourly cost calculations and numbers to your advantage is one, if you would like to make sure that everybody's chipping in on your boat, that is one of the things that I do. And I'm sure there's plenty of people that might take offense to that, but that's fine. I definitely agree with everybody pitching in for their time on the boat. And everybody can do this differently. I don't necessarily use this method, but I do believe in pitching in. So you could actually use this hourly cost that you come up with to determine what each participant for that day should pay to chip in and help the cost for that day of fun. Number two, an hourly cost breakdown could give you really good information on how much you should charge per hour if you are providing lessons or if you are renting your boat or something to that effect. It's going to give you that hourly figure so that you know how much you need to charge to be able to cover your costs and also make a profit. Again, I'm sure there's other things that people could come up with. Go ahead and leave those in the comments below and reference either hourly or annual, just depending on what you think you're helping out with. I know the people that use these videos, generally, if they're really wanting that information, they're checking out the comments as well. So thank you for that. All right, so the next video that I did was the 5-year cost of ownership. And in that video, it was more of a breakdown to capture those other costs that are going to be involved in 5 years worth of owning. A good example of that is depreciation. In my annual cost video and my hourly cost videos, I didn't break down depreciation because I felt as though that was captured in your payment. But if you paid cash for your boat, you may need to come up with a depreciation figure. And I stated that in the annual cost video because obviously your payment is probably going to be too low to be able to capture that. Even though it is not part of depreciation, is not part of that payment. I just feel like if you use the whole payment as opposed to just the interest expense on the annual cost video and the 100 hours video, it does a pretty good job of just putting a figure in there that might be representative of depreciation as well, even though it's not representative of depreciation. So first of all, I need to correct a mistake I made when I did the 5-year cost video. When I got to the storage fees, I stated that for 100 hours of use per season, it would be $150 a month. Based on how I was paying for storage at one point in time. And then I also stated that maybe for an average boater that it might be $300 a month. And then I calculated it wrong on the screen. I calculated it as 150 times 5 as opposed to 150 times 12 months for every 5 years. So it'd be 150 times 12 and then take that figure times 5 years. And same thing with 300. So in that video, I miscalculated $150 a month over 5 years is $750 when really it should have been $9,000. So my 5-year cost of ownership for 100 hours of use per season really should have came out to $68,628 as opposed to $60,378. And for the 5-year cost of ownership for 50 hours of use, I had a storage fee calculated as $1,500, and really that should have been $18,000. And that would have made the total cost come out to $68,418 as opposed to $54,428. So quick correction on that. I apologize for that mistake in the last video. So what do these numbers mean? Again, how can they help you out? So again, I come back to the business use of a wake boat. If you can calculate and somewhat forecast the cost of a wake boat when you're using it for a business, it's going to help you to determine how much you need to make over 5 years to make it worthwhile or to make it profitable. And number two is it can simply help you understand the true cost of a wake boat over 5 years if you're trying to decide whether or not you should make that decision and buy that boat. Because obviously a lot of people just see the number of the boat and that's all they think about. It helps to be prepared for what it's actually going to cost you. Again, to hopefully help with those situations where you buy a boat and then you don't really use it that much because it's so expensive every time you use it. So if you truly understand the costs over 5 years and you're prepared for that, then you might be better prepared to use that boat to its fullest potential while you own it. I will go ahead and link all 3 videos in the description below so that you can get to each one of those videos separately and see how I came up with those costs. That's it for this video. I hope this video helped you. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you have any thoughts on this video or ideas for future videos, please leave them in the comments below. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you'll be notified of my future videos. I'll see you next week.